Thanks for listening to Kentucky Sports Radio on Talk Radio 1080.
Welcome back, Kentucky Sports Radio. Haven't talked to this fella in a while, so it was nice of UK football coach Mark Stoops to join us. Coach, before we have you talk football, we were just talking about Mr. Rogers, and we had a caller say they didn't like Mr. Rogers. I would assume you like Mr. Rogers, right? He's the best.
How can you not like Mr. Rogers? I'll tell you, what was that? Was it a movie or documentary just came out about him not too long ago?
There were both. There was a documentary and then a movie starring Tom Hanks. They were two different things.
Well, that movie with Tom Hanks I thought was pretty good.
Well, good.
I ended up watching that with the family, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, so I enjoyed that movie. So, after watching that, you have to like Mr. Rogers.
There you go. I completely agree with you. All right, well, a lot of stuff I want to ask you. Let's start with this, just on a personal level. One of the things we've done on this show is just talk about what a strange few weeks this has been and the adjustment. And you're no different than anybody else. What's it been like these last 4 weeks for you?
Yeah, no doubt, Matt. It's very, very strange, just like everybody. It's hard to not be affected. And, it's really difficult. The first thing is for me is to keep myself in check because, as football coaches and any coach and any of us, everybody that kind of enjoys being busy and is used to going full throttle from the minute you wake up in the morning till you go to bed, you're just used to going. And that's very difficult to just put that on hold. So for me, just really thinking through things and even, going back to the beginning when this was just going through it, human nature says, oh, we'll meet in my house. We'll get around this. We'll do things. And then I'm like, wait a minute here. You got guys like John Schlarman where I'm like, absolutely not. There's no way he's coming near anybody. I won't be responsible for that. And then you think about the rest of my coaches and their families, and you just have to hit pause. You have to think about things. And that was very difficult early because you just go. But you have to put others first right now, and you have to hit pause, and you have to do what's right. And for us, and for me personally, that is very difficult. It's very uncomfortable for me not to just go. I'm just not like that. My wife, my kids, everybody laughs at me because even around vacation time or other times, you give me about 24 hours, 48 hours, and I just got to go do things, do something.
Yeah.
And,
I'm exactly the same way. So what? All right. So tell me with your players, like, one of the things I don't think fans think about is, okay, even when you're not in spring practice or whatever, they work out, they're training, they're lifting, they're doing all this stuff. Now none of these players are on campus. Yep. What are you doing, or what can you do to try to keep some semblance of, if not normalcy, at least team cohesiveness, working out? How are you all doing that?
The only way to do it is on Zoom, and that's what we're doing. And then individual phone calls. That's all you can do. And I can't tell you how many calls I get because I think the players are the same way. They're like, Coach, when can I get back? When can we do this? When can we do that? And I'm like, hey, my answer. You've heard me many times at press conferences. Hey, dude, this is way above my pay grade. Like, this is, I can't make those decisions. I'm not going to make those decisions. The most important thing is stay patient, do what you're told to do, stay home, try to train as best you can.
Well, on the training, do these players, do they have access to things to train or no?
No, they do not. They have access to our strength and conditioning coaches sending them, workouts that they can do with just their body weight. If some of them have access to some weights at their house and other things, they give them workouts for that. But we're giving them workouts to do things at home. We're working on putting together and getting an okay to send them weighted vests and doing some things with body weight and, just anything that they can do with that, with plyo work and anything our strength conditioning coaches can come up with.
So is there
a lot of them have fans and things of that nature. So, we're doing the best we can of staying on top of them and having them work out as best they can at home.
So, look, and I think it is what it is. Like you said, it's above your pay grade. Like, it is what it is. They're going to make whatever decision they make. But let's say that football were to start in September, but you couldn't really start working with the kids till July, which I think is probably the best scenario. That's probably the best scenario. Do you think it will have an effect? I mean, it'll be an effect on every team, but what do you think is the effect for teams if that scenario plays out?
I think we will be ready to play. If they would let us have our players on campus July 1st, we will be ready to play, September, in early September. I have confidence in our guys that they're doing work at home, that they're staying in shape. Back in the old days when my old ass played, we had to train on our own all summer. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And now these guys are used to being trained all year long. They love being trained all year long, and they are doing that. But with this situation the way it is, they have to, that's what I said earlier. This will be a good indication to me of what we've been working on the past 2, 3, 4 years as far as being, having that leadership and having guys that take the accountability to work out extremely hard when nobody's watching. And I believe our players are doing that. I don't think it'll take 4 weeks of, strength and conditioning work and then another 4 to 6 weeks of practicing to be ready for a game. I believe we can do it in July and August and be ready to play in September. But again, I'll give my opinion. But people above my pay grade will make those decisions.
Well, now, and on that point, I'm not asking you to do a Mike Gundy and say what you think should happen. This is more a what do you think will happen. Do you feel confident, hopeful? Like, where are you on football starting when it's scheduled right now to do it? Do you feel confident? Do you feel hopeful? Where are you on it?
I'm hopeful on that. I'm just hopeful on that. I do. Again, you have to sit back and you got to think about it. If you're a governor or these people making decisions for their state and you want to pack in 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 people in stadiums come on next fall and have it wide open, that is a lot to think about. And, those are people, the healthcare professionals and the experts, need to see where it's at. I think we all need to stay away from making those predictions.
Yeah.
So I would say hopeful, Matt, that will be back. Also, I think we all understand that pre-coronavirus, I don't know if things are going to be absolutely normal like they were prior to that for a while.
I agree with you.
I do think that football needs to be played, and a lot of people are counting on it. And universities, the athletic departments, I can't even imagine what things will look like if we do not play a football season because because of how many sports it supports and how much it's counted on. So I think it'll be played in some way, shape, or form. When and how that, what that looks like, I really don't know.
What if they say to you, Coach, and I think this is plausible, all right, we're playing, but for some period of time, no fans?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. I really do. I think that'll be very strange. I think, I think there were some events that way, and we talked about it with basketball towards the end of their season. And, obviously that'll be very, very strange. But I think it is a possibility.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you coming on. Last question, recruiting. Yeah. This is a big recruiting time. What now? What on recruiting? I mean, I don't even know, what are you allowed to do? Are you allowed to do anything right now?
Yeah, so we're on the phone quite a bit, with groups, and we can direct message them, we can text them, and they could call us, so been on the phone quite a bit with FaceTime and just talking with kids. That's really all you're allowed to do. I mean, so they're certainly not allowed on our campus, and we're not allowed off campus. So, it's just staying in touch as best you can, on the phone. So, how's things? I mean, I say how are you guys making out? How you doing your business and everything?
Well, I mean, we're each
remotely or what?
Yeah, we're each at our own separate houses doing it, and it's. I think the thing is, and this is what my only take on all this, I think safety obviously has to be first. But you made a good point, and this is especially true in this state. I think for just the morale of the state, the football and basketball is a key component of that, Mark. It just is. I mean, you got to keep everybody safe. That's the number one thing. But I do think if we get into August, September, October, sports is a big part of how this state sort of defines itself, and I think it's really important that we try to make it happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let's face it, I mean, nationally it's the same way. I mean, people, it's a part of our culture, and, we need it. And I'm not, me, I try to stay in my lane. I don't make bold predictions, all those things. I just let the healthcare professionals make the call. Let Mitch, let our president, let people like that make good decisions. But if we are just playing games with no fans, there'll be a heck of a lot of people glued to the TV watching those games, won't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
no, there definitely will. I mean,
I feel for people like you, though. You guys just opened up your restaurant and bar, and we're doing so well. It's such a big piece of it. And, of course, I'm so close with Bruce and Brian and the Bluegrass Hospitality Group, and just so many people, so many friends. There's just so many people that you're just feeling for that it's really remarkable. It's sad. And I'm just trying to do my small part and help people as best we can. And I try to do that daily. I like doing things under the radar. I don't do things because I need a pat on the back or want a pat on the back. I just feel for the people in our community and the people throughout the country, and it's devastating, really. And,
restaurants,
very few people not hurt.
Restaurants and retail are tough. And in Lexington, Mark, literally you couldn't have picked a worse time for it to happen because everybody had ordered all of their March Madness food supplies, and then it cut off right before you could use them. Literally, all the restaurants in Lexington, and I'm sure it's true in Louisville, have the exact same thing. Yeah. Literally, you ordered enough for the whole NCAA tournament, which is this massive time, and then bam, shut.
Right.
And it's it's very, very difficult. But listen, thank you very much for the for the time. We really appreciate it, and we will check in with you later. Stay safe.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt. Same to you.
Appreciate it. We'll take a quick break.